Welcome back to the Imperfect Show, the podcast where we talk about life, mistakes, chaos, and how obviously nobody has it all figured out. I'm your host, and today we're talking about something that everyone thinks they understand, but very few people actually do well: leadership. And listen, leadership is a funny thing because if you ask people if they're a good leader, about 90% of people will say yes. But if you ask people if they've had a bad leader, 100% of people will say, which means statistically, some of you listeners right now might actually be the bad leader, but don't worry. This episode isn't about attacking leaders. It's about figuring out what leadership actually looks like because it's not always we think. You ever notice how a leadership title gets handed out like a free sample at Costco? Supervisor, manager, team leader, assistant to regional manager. But here's the thing: a title doesn't make someone a leader. A title just means that someone trusted you with responsibility. Leadership is something people decide to give you. You don't ask for it, you earn it. And the moment you realize that, it becomes a lot scarier. You realize people are watching you. They're watching how you react. They're watching how you treat people. They're watching how you handle pressure. And sometimes you're sitting there thinking, no, they think I know what I'm doing. I've been in that situation once or twice. Let's talk about the leaders we've all seen before. Because bad leadership is almost easier to recognize than good leadership. Okay. We got the screamer. The leader thinks volume equals authority. They walk into the room already. Alrighty, I've heard of this hype. Everyone keeps telling me, you gotta try Let's Go. And listen, I'm a firefighter, triathlete, trash man, always on the move. So if something says it's clean energy with no crash, I'm testing it. This is Let's Go, made by a woman who does all the things: mom, CEO, athlete, dreamer, so already reliable. Oh wait, hold on. This feels different. It's not that jittery, cracked out energy. It's like clarity, like my brain turned on and my body followed clean, steady energy that actually moves with you. Mom, enthusiasts, people juggling 12 things at once, this is for you. So yeah, I get it now. No excuse, no limits. If you're heading somewhere mentally or physically, Let's Go actually helps you. Get there, try it. You're gonna feel the difference. Angry. Everything is yelling. Everything is urgent. Everything is someone else's fault. They'll yell about things that don't even matter, like replacing the toilet paper. Wait, that does matter. What am I talking about? Why is the paperclip here? Relax, man. We're not diffusing a bomb. Pause. Just calm down. Like, chill. Take a chill pill. The funny part is, the louder someone gets, the less people actually listen. Well, think about that for a minute. I know if somebody gets loud with me, I shut down because no point in listening. But the calmer they are, the nicer they are, that's what I look for. Well, now you got the dare disappearing leader. This leader is amazing when things are easy. Schedules look good, everyone's smiling, everything is perfect. But the moment something goes wrong, they vanish. They have that invisible cloak. You look around and suddenly leadership is nowhere to be found. They're like a Bigfoot. You've heard about them, but you can't find them. But nobody actually sees them when things get serious. I've seen some of those. Things get serious, boom, they're in their magical cloak, hiding away. Now you got the credit collectors. The ones might be the most common. These leaders love success. They love recognition. They love standing in front of people saying, look what we accomplished. But when someone goes wrong or something, they suddenly switch from we to you. Why did you do that? Why did you mess that up? And that's when team starts losing respect. And that's so true. When I do things as a group with people and it's a team effort, I always take the blame because it's what you do to take responsibility for the things you've done with a group. And You take that, and it's just a lesson. And now, here we go, the accidental leader. Some of the best leaders I've ever seen didn't want to be leaders. They didn't chase titles, they didn't chase power. They just stepped up when things needed to be done. You know who I'm talking about. A person who sees zero problems and just handles it. They don't make a speech, they don't make it dramatic, they just fix the problem. And suddenly people start following them, not because they were told to, but because they trust them. There's that big word, trust them. Okay. I have created a very scientific leadership test. I call it the coffee test. You can learn everything about a leader by watching what they do with the last cup of coffee. There are two types of people. Person number one drinks the last cup and leaves the empty pot and then just walks away like someone kind of leader criminal. Come on now. The person can't be trusted. They leave problems for other people. They don't think about the team. Person number two, they find the coffee and then they make the new pot. No announcement, no praise. They just take care of the next person. That's right there. That's leadership. Leadership is usually quiet. It's small things. It's the things people don't notice. The real test of leadership happens when things go wrong. Anyone can lead when things are easy, but when chaos hits, that's when people show who they really are. Bad leaders panic, they blame people, they make things worse. Good leaders slow things down, they take breaths, they focus on solving the problem instead of assigning blame. And here's something great leaders understand people make mistakes, but how you respond to mistakes, that's defined your leaderships. Because if people are afraid of you, they stop communicating. And when communication dies, team fails. That's so true. If you ain't got communication, well, you ain't got a team. Because you need communication to have a team. One of the biggest leadership killers is ego. Ego convinces people they're always right. Ego convinces people they don't need feedback. Ego convinces people they're the smartest person in the room. But here's the truth. If you're the smartest person in the room, you build the wrong team. The best leaders surround themselves with people who are smarter than them, strangers than them, more skills than them, and they're not threatened by it. They celebrate it. I want to end this episode with one question. Think about the best leader you've ever had. What made them great? Was it the title? Probably not. It was probably how they treated people, how they showed up, how they handled tough situations, and how they made you feel valued. Leadership isn't about control, it's about responsibility. Responsibility for people, responsibility for decisions, and responsibility for culture you create. Thanks for listening to The Imperfect Show. If this episode made you laugh or made you think about leadership a little different, then we did our job. And remember, leadership doesn't require perfection, it just requires effort. And maybe, just maybe, don't leave the coffee pot empty. We'll see you next time on The Imperfect Show.